Alrighty, so it's great to be with you guys in Seattle, my first time in Seattle. So before we get really heavy, I wanted to share a couple of jokes with you, and full disclosure, I did not write these jokes. I'm a father of three, so I've got no end to dad jokes. So I'm going to share a couple with you before we get going. All right, first one. Never trust someone who's using graph paper. They're always plotting something. Yeah. Depending on how this goes, I'll end it quickly. Next one. Question for you all. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None. It's a hardware problem. Alrighty. Well, as I said, I'm Cody Landefeld, and I'm going to share about... there we go. All right. So let's get serious. No more having fun. So I'm going to share about fostering repeat business and something that frankly, we all need to do for providing services for our clients. Just to show the room, who here is a freelancer or an agency owner? Raise your hand. Alrighty, so hopefully there's some good stuff to take away from this talk as we're currently putting into practice in our agency. So how did I get here? Well, I'll tell you, I got an Uber, went to the airport. More dad jokes. Not exactly. So I started freelancing at 2000. I know that ages me quite a bit, I guess. That seems like a long time ago. And started up our agency in about 2010. And since then, a lot of lessons learned. I always attribute the good things that we've done to making fewer mistakes. But about 4 years ago, we really started to focus on WooCommerce as an important part of our business and a real area of opportunity for helping clients grow their online businesses. And since working with WooCommerce, working with more customers with these particular who need these particular things that we need, we've seen roughly about 25% year-over-year growth in recurring revenue. So that's been a huge, important part of our business. So why WooCommerce? Why focus on WooCommerce? Well, I can say specifically for us, we developed a really good skill set, a really good opportunity with helping high-performance sites, and it translated really well to helping with e-commerce sites. And when obviously knowing WordPress, going to about 2005, 2006, when we started to exclusively use WordPress for CMS, WooCommerce quickly became the go-to place for us to really focus on and build on. So the great things about WooCommerce, as we all know, store owners can really control their own destiny. They can do what they want to do on their site. That's a little different from other platforms, maybe hosted platforms where you don't have that flexibility. So a store owner or somebody who's running an online business selling things, they can really do some great things with their store, and they can also utilize an agency like ours or a consultancy like ours to be able to help take them there. Now, obviously, the SEO benefits, being able to do more and more things. Again, that opens up more of an opportunity for ongoing services, whether you're focused on the marketing side or even on the design and development side. There's yet another opportunity where store owners are looking for people like ourselves to help them really bring their business to the next level. And something that's really interesting, what we've found, is WooCommerce is the perfect vehicle for store owners that are generating between 1 to maybe 10 million. So maybe inside of that 7-8 million or 7-8 figure mark. So that's a really great opportunity. And again, for folks like ourselves running agencies or consultancies, we have a tremendous opportunity to be able to really help them, and they can get a lot of use from working with us with not only projects, but ongoing services. So the question is, looking at transitioning from just projects to recurring or creating more recurring opportunities, is where do these relationships begin? Where do we find an opportunity or a project or a problem to solve for a potential client? And what we found typically within our agency is that a lot of times somebody is going to send an email, somebody's going to pick up the phone, they're going to call us, and they're going to call out one particular challenge that is affecting their revenue. Does that sound familiar? I would say it does for most that are working with store owners. And so that's their one particular challenge, and that's a lot of times if an agency, or rather a store owner, does not know us from Adam, does not yet have that trust with us, they're likely not going to hand the keys to their entire online business to us. We have to be able to solve this one particular challenge for them and be able to earn their trust before we can move on and even pitch ourselves to do these reoccurring services or focus on other problems that they have. The other thing that we've learned a lot, and I think it's common for a lot of e-commerce stores, is not everybody's coming through the door and saying, I want to knock down my store and I want to start from scratch. Or rather, somebody who is coming through the door and saying they're starting from scratch can yet afford our services. So that's one of the particular challenges too, to support the previous point, to say usually they're not going to want to start from scratch. They really just want to focus on one particular challenge or potentially a handful of other challenges. Now, again, going back to this one particular focused challenge that we want to solve for a store owner, this is the one victory that we really want to focus on before we can get to the next level. There's a saying, and I'm sure this was taken from multiple others. I have a mentor and a coach I work with, and one of his favorite things to say is, little hinges swing big doors. And I'm sure you've seen this in your business if you've been in business for a while. You have one small victory with the potential client, you have one small victory with a small client, and then hopefully before you know it, they open up a lot more opportunity to you, and you're able to kind of step in more into their business and do more things for them. So the challenge is not only to focus on that one particular problem, but also think beyond the project and what we can do down the road for them. So obviously, while we are fully capable and might have the staff to fulfill all types of things for a business, it's important to stay patient and really document the things that we can learn from a business while also solving, or rather being focused to solve this particular problem. And I think as an agency owner, as a team working together as an agency, curiosity is such a required thing for us. We want to know all aspects of somebody's business, at least related to technical things or marketing things if we're working on that end. But really just documenting those things to be able to be ready to meet those challenges as they come about. And again, just as I mentioned with the previous point, the first point, we definitely want to build trust with the client. So kind of taking a step-by-step basis and really understanding how we can help them to be able to learn to trust in us and build a winning track record. God bless you. Is this all making sense so far? All right. So in order to move from one step to the next, we're solving one particular challenge and then we're kind of going on, it's important to build a good process with this. And so that's one of the things that we at MotiveFect particularly had a challenge with early on. We would say no to ongoing work. We would say no to smaller engagements because frankly, we didn't have a process. We didn't have the staff to be able to fulfill those smaller jobs, so to say. So when you're stepping into recurring services, it's so important to build a process. Now, the one thing I'll say, and whether you appreciate this or not, of course, if you've been in business for any particular time, and been successful, you've learned to sell on some level. So I cannot stress this enough. We need to learn to sell. We need to be constantly selling. Whether that's a crude term or not, it's vital to you being in business. And I would even point out that your customers require you to be able to not only just crudely sell them, but be willing to help them. And of course, that's another word for sales. Got a couple chuckles out of that. So anyway, so again, building a process is so key to being able to feel confident to even offer these particular recurring services. We need to not only know what these particular services are that we can offer, but we need to kind of have a really good laid out, documented process to lay those out. So that's so key and so vital to exactly what we want to be able to do. And so part of the challenge, like we saw in our business, is that early on, we did not have the staff. We did not have those particular processes and staff to be able to fulfill those things. So it's a particular challenge if you've got a smaller consultancy or agency, or maybe you're just working by yourself, to be able to really understand how exactly you would be able to do this, or you'd be able to fulfill this actually. So that's so important to know exactly what you can do. And another thing to think about here is it's not always just looking at what you internally can do. Find a partner. Find somebody who's just particularly focused on the maintenance aspect of WooCommerce or WordPress or whoever you're working with. Or maybe find a marketing agency that you can potentially outsource to, and they could do some type of a revenue share. That could be a great opportunity to really win get an extra win with a new client or a client that you've been working with for a long time. So again, building a process is so key, and it's something we've slowly but surely been able to do, and we've seen a lot of success coming from that. So accounting and sales is really important. Again, I mentioned it just a second ago. Sales is such an important part of an agency owner's job, and it's something we really need to focus on with being able to help our clients. And I say this again, and I really want to harp on this because I believe it's the same on the client side as much as it is on the agency side. They need our help. They need us to know, as consultants, as agency owners, as problem solvers, to know their business, to be able to know those little hinges that are really going to get them to that next revenue level. So it's not at all a crude thing to be able to just offer more potential things we can do for a client's business. We really need to be listening. We really need to be paying attention and documenting those things along the way, whether you're doing that yourself or you've got a team to do that. So I'll really harp on this. I mean, learn to sell. I mean, that's the thing that we need to do all the time. And I actually have a couple of books I can recommend. So, one of the things that I think is a challenge for us as agency owners, we might be really good at getting somebody from getting to know us to maybe giving us some money and fulfilling a project, but going beyond that could be a challenge. So that's something we need to focus on. So I recommend a book to you. It's a book by an author named Jay Abraham. He wrote a book called Getting Everything Out of All You've Got. And that's been a really good book for me to kind of understand, really how to think beyond just an initial delivery and think about how do we really help clients? Because in the end, it's not just self-serving. It truly is having a lot of care for somebody's business and really investing ourselves into giving them opportunities that they're going to get a maximum return on. Another great book to look at would be a book by an author named Chet Holmes, The Ultimate Sales Machine. Now, again, I know some of our personalities, it's a challenge. We're not naturally salespeople, but it's definitely something we really need to learn how to do, and it's something our clients rather, can really truly benefit from in working with us. So moving from being able to sell and not only just getting that initial project and bringing somebody on, learning to fulfill that, doing all those processes, it's also important to create goals for each client. Again, don't just think about yourself in this. Think about the opportunities and the wins that are going to happen for your client. But internally, it could be really great to see that we can continually move our clients along for a mutual win on both sides. If, let's say, in 1 year, our clients are spending, say, $5,000 a year with us. Well, how would it look if we can get them to move up maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in the next year? But not only looking at that, what type of value can we bring our clients that they invested that much more in working with our agency? See, that's something that we need to focus on doing because, again, getting ourselves in the habit of doing this, we really need to be able to see how we can help them. The other thing is obviously keeping newer and older clients in front of us, making sure that we're constantly checking up on people. And I'll confess, this is a struggle for myself. I see myself as an introvert. I don't know if there's any other introverts in the house, if you feel that way, if you feel me. But it's something that's a struggle. It's a necessary thing. It's something. How many times have you gotten on your laptop, typed an email, checked up on somebody, and they're saying, "I'm glad you got in touch with me because I got this one particular challenge I need help with." It's constantly something we need to work on. And again, there are people that need our help to do this, and not only just once in a while, consistently. So it's something we need to really take advantage of in helping our clients. And again, the beauty of this is not just all manual labor. We can take our list. If we're building a list in our business, which you should be doing, we could take our list, we can repurpose our content, we can go out to use Facebook, we can use other things that will automate, just keeping ourselves in front of them. Not in a way to just sell somebody or try to get somebody in the door, but maybe there's a way we can utilize multiple touches to keep ourselves in front of clients, or delegate that to another member of our team to be able to just have those conversations and just literally pick up the phone and just check up on somebody. And even with those projects that maybe went a little south, just saying, you know what, I know we could have done better with this, but we really care about your business and want to just check up on you and see if there's anything we can help with. And a lot of times it just takes swallowing our pride to be able to do that. So that's something that we all need to do a better job of, including myself. So when I say all this stuff, I'm saying it to myself really. So recapping, we definitely want to be able to do a better job with creating reoccurring revenue and seeing an opportunity to move into that. And I'm sure a lot of us in this room are already doing a great job at this, but it's important for us to kind of shift our vision of this, shift our realization of this, to be able to see the need for our clients who need these services and who need our help to really have success in their businesses and reach their goals. And our help is truly vital for that. So learning to sell, getting beyond the awkwardness of that, getting in the habit of being able to see those opportunities we can continually have with talking with our clients, past clients, potential clients, current clients, and offering them more services and seeing what we can do. So that's it. I think I have 3 minutes for questions, but if that needs to come off the stage, come find me. I'd love to talk with you. So we'll take those off the stage if not. So that's about it. Thanks, guys, for letting me share. We'll see you around.